What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Bleacher Report. I am your host, TD from TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. And we have the Miami Dolphins post-draft coverage, my reaction right here, right now. Make sure you hit that fire button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know that we are live, and we will be live again on Wednesday night here on the Bleacher Report app. All right? Man, the draft is over. All of this time, we've been waiting for this week to pass because it's been mock after mock after mock. No more mocks, ladies and gentlemen. It is official. The draft is over, and the Miami Dolphins had 10 picks in this year's draft and ended up drafting 8 players. I'll tell you all about it, how it happened, what I think about all the moves being made. And, we're going to save the grades for Wednesday night. But we want to recap this year's draft. I was a very interesting one. Here's what I'll say. I personally feel like this was the best draft Chris Grier has ever had. Honestly. And I know a lot of people, I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews on this draft, but I honestly and wholeheartedly believe that this is the best draft that Chris Grier has ever had for many reasons. Could it have been better? Yes, it could have. It could have been better. But you know what? It was still great. I'm telling you, like, and I'm sorry, I know somebody said my microphone. Let me know in the chat. I just want to make sure my mic is coming through as I talk about my reaction on this draft. But here we go, man. Let's break it down. Now, I'm one of those individuals where you got to prove things to me before I give you the benefit of the doubt. But I am here to tell y'all this is the best draft Chris Grier has ever had. Let's break it down, starting off at the beginning, okay? Chris Grier said that we need to leave this draft with guys that are day one starters ready to contribute. I always said, listen, we're only going to get one of those guys picking at 48 in the second round. There is a chance to get 2, but he has to be very strategic. And I was wrong. My strategy was trade out of 13. And when you trade out of 13, move in the mid-20s, and there'll still be a lot of good players that we love right there. That will help you pick up an additional an additional second rounder, and you can pick in the mid-second round. And I told you guys last week, my target at 48 was Jonah. The problem was I could never mock him to 48. I just couldn't get Jonah to 48. So that's why I came up with the strategy, trade out of 13, pick up an additional pick in the second round earlier than 48, around the mid to end of the 30s, and you can get a nice player and get Jonah, okay? Now, the Dolphins didn't do that. What the Dolphins did right away, they selected at 13 and they got Kenneth Grant. And I love it. I did a mock draft right here on Bleacher Report, the full mock draft. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me put it up close. You see those players scratched out? Everybody not scratched out. I said, these are the guys that I'm willing to have at 13. Jahdae Barron, Will Johnson, Malachi Starks, and Kenneth Grant. These were the guys that I said I'm willing to take at 13. And the crazy part is all 4 of them were available. And I also ranked last week. I told you all my order was Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, Jahdae Barron, then Malachi Starks. And sure enough, the Miami Dolphins select defensive tackle Kenneth Grant. I was happy. I was excited. This was the move to make. Everybody, we reached. We could have traded down. I'm going to be honest with you. I get it because I was disappointed too. And I love the player, but I said, oh my gosh, I wanted a day 2 player. It's going to be hard to get a great player at 48. I needed that extra pick. And I said, oh, Miami blew it. I love Kenneth Grant. Great pick. You can't go wrong with the pick, but we needed to be strategic. There were 4 of the players on the board. We could have moved down and still gotten one of them and gotten a day 2 pick. We could have gotten Jonah. Why did I want Jonah? Because Jonah is versatile. Jonah can play both tackle positions. Jonah can play the guard position. I love this prospect the entire time. That was my primary target. So here we are, and day 2 is here. And I'm like, all right, I'll wait to 48. Let's see what he does. I mean, it'll be a good player, but Jonah's the guy you got to get here. And I'm sitting there, and I'm out with the wife, and next thing you know, I see the Dolphins trade up. I said, oh, my gosh. It's Will Johnson or Jonah. And then I got sad. I said, no, they're going to pick somebody. I don't even know who it is. And sure enough, Chris Grier selected Jonah, and I went absolutely crazy. I went absolutely crazy because this is the guy that I wanted the entire time, and we were able to do it. Now, I know a lot of people, but it was expensive. It was expensive. Why do we spend so much? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a player that you like, you got to go get him. You got to go get him. You got to stop with this. Well, it was, we could have gotten him a little later. Yeah, until somebody snatched him up, and then we're all crying that we didn't do anything on the O-line. Let's not complain about what we gave up. We got the player we wanted that's going to come in and contribute day 1. You want to take the risk with starting Liam Eichenberg? Hey, and Liam might end up okay, but I'm just saying. Let's be honest here. This was the perfect move for the Miami Dolphins. Now, when we got him, I said to myself, wow, not only is he just versatile, but now we can get the best match on the O-line. Maybe Jonah plays tackle right away. You don't know. His versatility allows us to play a few different ways with this and get the best group we possibly can out on the field. That's what I love the most about it. And we address the offensive line. Like all the little politics of, well, we gave up this and that. We're in a draft. You got to get the player you want. We got to stop these games. And like I said before, you cannot live off of, well, hopefully he falls to 48. Then he doesn't. Then everybody's mad with whoever we got after that. No. Good job, Chris Grier. Good job standing on business and going to get 2 starters. You can't be mad at that. So then we're like, oh, we don't have any 3rd-round pick. That's the cost of making sure you get the guy you believe in. Well, I had no problem with it. But then we went to the 4th round. And I'm going to be honest with you all. I was disappointed in Chris Grier, his decision here, but he did make the second best decision. So I can't be mad. He didn't make the best decision, in my opinion, but he did make the second best decision. The best decision would have been to draft Shedeur Sanders, whether you like him or not. Given Tua's injury history, you might have had an opportunity to get a guy that can save you from potentially using a 1st-round pick for a quarterback next year. And I don't know if it would have worked out that way, but in the 4th round, you got to swing. If you miss, you miss. But in the 4th round, the possibility was worth it. So people don't get all in their feelings. This wasn't to replace Tua. This is to have an early insurance policy in the event Tua misses a significant amount of games again, because if he does, that's it. It's over. But this was a significant opportunity to not have to potentially waste the 1st-round pick next year at the quarterback position for Miami. But they didn't go that route. All right, can't cry over spilled milk. Move on. Then they trade out of the pick, and everybody's mad. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an amazing decision by Chris Grier. That was one of the best decisions of the draft by Chris Grier. I'm here to tell you that now, and let me explain why. It didn't matter who else you wanted to get in the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round. Those guys aren't considered starters. You might find some good talent, but on this roster, nobody was there that was going to start over anybody we have right now. Maybe the corner position or safety position, but it ain't an automatic start. It's a battle for the position type situation. So Chris Grier knowing, listen, you need day 1 starters now. Everybody else, they try to make the team. Maybe somebody flash, maybe they don't. It'll be more valuable to pick up a third-round pick for next year. We were able to transform pick 116, which is a mid-fourth round pick, into a mid to early third-round pick. Think about it. We were able to transform a mid-fourth round pick into a mid to early third round pick. That's a huge win. That third round pick is going to work wonders for us next year. That third round pick is a part of a potential package to do something else, like move up in the second round or add to an additional player in the first or something that you want to move up. That was a chess move, and I like it. You know why? Because Chris Grier, let me tell you why I'm so impressed with Chris Grier in this draft. I'm impressed with him because you would think he's on the hot seat. He did not make the moves as if he was on the hot seat. He made the moves that were best for the future of the organization. All offseason, I've been telling you, here's the dilemma. He got to make moves to keep his job, even though the right thing to do would be making moves for the long term. He did not put his job security over what was best for the team, and I'm here to tell y'all that might actually give him more job security. I love his poise today, over the last few days. His ability to not worry about, oh, man, I got to win this year. I got to figure out more players now, but do what's best for the long term with solidify. Because we could have traded, we could have stayed put at 48 and picked in the third round, but we might have had two hopefuls versus a guy you love and you feel is going to definitely be it in Jonah. You got to go after the guarantee, at least what you believe is a guarantee. I love what Chris Grier did. He kept his poise. I'm not going to listen to the noise about my job. I'm going to do my job, which is what's best for the organization and not myself and my job right now because I got behind and I messed up over the last few years with some of my picks. I didn't have the conviction I should have. I messed up on a few approaches, some players. Yeah, some things didn't go right, but you know what? I'm going to continue to go down the road that this is my team long term, and I'm going to make the best decision for the long term. I love that. So we pick up a third next year, which is so important. Just like when we trade Ramsey, we're going to pick up a pick for next year. It's important to gather as many picks as you can next year because we don't know what's going to happen this year with the current roster, with Tua Tagovailoa. We have no idea. Moving forward, we get to the fifth round. We double down on defensive tackle Jordan Phillips. Right after we could have taken Shedeur, we were he was on the board right there. And we decided to go defensive tackle Jordan Phillips. Not a bad move. You bring depth in that room, an opportunity to work some guys out, be able to prove themselves for a potential role. When I get into the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th round, I don't say whether a guy's going to be good or he's going to be bad. Everybody's going to have their opinion, but the truth of the matter is these are the picks where you just welcome the guy to the team, and he has an opportunity to prove himself worthy of being a Miami Dolphin. So I love the positional pick here at defensive tackle with Jordan Phillips. Big guy. I think he can bring a lot to the table, but let's wait and see. Then you go cornerback Jason Marshall Jr., same situation in the 5th round where you go to a position of need, get in that room, Cam Smith and all of those boys, good luck. Everybody gets to battle it out. I love it. Make it a competition. Then you go safety Dante Trader Jr., same thing. Get in that room with those guys we brought in that aren't really starters. Get in there and compete and try to earn your way. Running back Ollie Gordon, that's a Mike McDaniel pick all the way, a bigger back. What I do like about now, I'm going to back up a second. And I think that this kid actually might be able to contribute early from a limited standpoint because we finally get a big back who might be able to be utilized in third and short, fourth and inches type situations. Don't know yet, but I like him. He's a great pass blocker. He catches out of the backfield. Get in there and compete. But I can see the skill set and what we were going for here. Remember, we're one of the only teams in the NFL that we're just terrible in third and fourth and short. We can't run the ball. We can't quarterback sneak. Small back, small quarterback. Now you got a back that's a little bigger that might be able to really help you there. We'll see. Get in there and earn your way. That's your 6th round. Then quarterback Quinn Ewers in the 7th round. I'm going to skip him and come back because after that we go defensive tackle Zeke Biggers, another guy you put in the room to compete, make a name for yourself if you got an opportunity in camp and mini camps. But we triple down at the defensive tackle position. I like that because it's hard to find those guys. So you want to take as many swings at it as possible. Kenneth Grant's your guy, but Zach Zeeler isn't forever. And you want some good depth. So I like that, okay? Now let's back up to Quinn Ewers. Here's what I realized about the NFL and the quarterback position. You never truly know what you have. You don't know until you get the guys in the NFL and they get an opportunity. You know, you don't know what you have. Some guys will blow you away. Sometimes guys will look bad. Some will look bad, go to another situation, blow you away. You don't know what you have until you really get an opportunity. And just like all the rest of the draft picks in the later rounds, I don't have expectations for them. What it is get in there and compete and do what you can to show that you belong as a Miami Dolphin, as a backup, as a starter, whatever that may be. But here's what I will tell you about Quinn Ewers. I did work on quarterbacks. I did work on Cam. I stopped because I knew that was impossible. I did a lot of work on Shador, even though I had already saw all of his college games. I did a little bit of work on Jalen Milroe and stopped because I don't need that level of inaccuracy. Dylan Gabriel, I did some work on him. And I did a small portion of work on Quinn Ewers, and I knew that we would draft him. I wasn't going to do any work on Quinn Ewers, looking him up and checking his game out. But I knew that when the Miami Dolphins brought him in on a 30 visit, because, you know, it's 30 prospects they're allowed to bring in on a visit. They brought him in on a 30 visit. That's what sparked me to go look at him. I said, yeah, they're going to bring him in. He's going to be the guy if he's there in the 6th or the 7th round. He might even go in the 5th. Ewers is the guy. Y'all remember I told y'all, they brought him in for a 30. Ewers is going to be the pick. I know they're going to go get Ewers. I told y'all that. And here we are. They went and got him. In the work that I saw, I actually like what I saw. And immediately an hour ago, I started looking at more. Let me tell you what Quinn Ewers is. He's a firecracker. He's a wild card. You don't know. This kid can come in and be the next Purdy, Tom Brady. You don't know. He's a firecracker. When you look at his weaknesses, and I want to start there before I go to his strengths. Sometimes, his arm, he can sail passes. It's going to the guy, but it's sailed a little high over the middle in particular. He can sail passes at time. He can sling the rock, by the way. It isn't the flashiest from an athletic standpoint, in my opinion, but his arm talent is phenomenal. And what I do love about Quinn Ewers, first of all, his fiery. Let me tell y'all something about Quinn Ewers. You know how Shedeur Sanders is cocky and out there and all of that? Quinn Ewers isn't out there, but he is as cocky as Shedeur Sanders. He just says it in a more receivable way. Just being honest with y'all. He just says it in a way where everybody can receive it. And like I said to you all earlier, there's no cultural disconnect. He's just as arrogant and cocky. I mean, have you ever heard him? Have you ever heard him talk? He like his confidence is so electric, and I love it. He also fires up his team. He's a leader. He's in people's face. He's aggressive. He's all up in his teammates, motivating them. In the game, out of the game. His confidence is impeccable. He throws a really good deep ball. And I believe when Mike McDaniel gets his hands on him, he can polish him up to be an NFL starter. Now, can he be a franchise quarterback? Only he can tell us that when we evaluate his play in the NFL, if given the opportunity. But lucky him, he's on a team where the opportunity has a high likelihood because of the starting quarterback's inability to stay healthy. So I love the Quinn Ewers pick. Would I have gone Shedeur in the 4th instead? Or right there, or in the 5th? Shedeur was right there before Jordan Phillips. Would I have gone Shedeur? Absolutely. But I am not mad at the Miami Dolphins deciding to go with Quinn Ewers. I think his skill set, if refined by Mike McDaniel, can translate into this offense where it can be effective. And the last thing I'm going to say about Quinn Ewers and what I love about him is the fact that this man, when he's hurt, he don't mind playing through it. Oh, Quinn Ewers always hurt too. How many times has he played through it? How many times has he played through it? I love it. I love it. So he's going to have an opportunity. Get into camp. You got two, what many will say, veterans in front of you. But go do your job. Keep your head down and show them your talent. Because the first step for Quinn Ewers is to make sure that he beats out Zach Wilson in camp. And if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, I know they pay Zach Wilson in his politics. But if you hear that Quinn Ewers beat out Zach Wilson, but they still keep Zach Wilson as a number 2, we'll know that's only because of the contractual obligations, the money that we gave Zach, which I'll go look to see if it's guaranteed. Probably is, but I'll go see. But if you go and beat Zach Wilson out and they give you the number 2, or everyone that's at camp evaluating it, like me and the beat writers, I'll be at camp as always, and we feel like you won that number 2 job, that is massive for us. That's what you're going to be looking for. There's so much to look forward to in camp this year. You got 3 quarterbacks in the room, 2 of them fighting for one of them fighting for rejuvenation of his career. One of them is a wild card in Ewers who can spark out and become something great. And one is trying to stay healthy and hold on to his spot. Because the last thing Tua wants with all of his injury concerns is for people to start questioning, hey, is he the best quarterback on the roster? Right now, going into camp, Tua Tagovailoa is obviously hands down the best quarterback on the roster. But when we get into camp, he better maintain that. You have to maintain that. Thank you, Parker. 96 million guaranteed salary on Wilson. I appreciate that. And all those who are in the chat, thank y'all for tuning in the chat and being here. All right. Make sure you hit that fire button. Wilson contract is 4.75 mil signing bonus and 6 mil total fully guaranteed. Yes. So, yeah, and that gives him a leg up to be number 2. But if anything changes on that, that's a big sign. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. But I think the important thing, because I know a lot of people, this is what they really want to know. This is what they really want to know. Are the Miami Dolphins a better team? The truthful answer, to not lying to you and selling you on hope, we are not a better roster than last year because of our draft this year. But we did close that gap on everything we lost with Javon Holland, Teron Armstead, Calais Campbell, Fuller, and about to be Ramsey. If there is a gap this big, what Chris Greer was able to do is make it a gap about that big. We're still not the team we were last year. Now, when we go into free agency and we add some veteran depth, there's some really good players, but veterans that are available, some receivers, some this, that, complimentary pieces all over the place, he's going to go to work. I don't think that we will close the gap, but we can get right about under it. And I'm going to tell you the three things that have to happen this year for us to exceed what we did last year. Because there is a world where we can exceed what we did last year, but here's what has to happen. This is after we go get the veterans and the free agents. Here's what has to happen. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips have to come back primed. Oh, I can't tell they were ever even hurt. They hit the ground running. They're out there electric, making plays, playing big time. Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips have to come back like they never left. That's number one. Number two, we all know Tua can't be missing no games. Tua can't be missing games. 2 years ago, we said, if he missed another game, that's it. He did. But we kept moving. Last year, if he missed another game, that's it. He did. Then we kept moving. All right, well, as long as he don't miss anymore, he out again. And now we're keeping it going. We can't keep this going if he does this again. I don't even want to miss in the quarter. But y'all get my point. Now, if something happened, he missed a game, and that's it. Long as the ending ends up right. But you can't miss anything more than a game this year. You got to have a healthy season. You can't even miss that game. Let me stop. You can't even miss that game. You got to have a healthy season. So that's one, the defensive ends coming back like they never left. Number two, Tua Tagovailoa. Number three, this is the most important one. McDaniel got to up his coaching game. McDaniels has to step up his coaching game. I don't know. It ain't my job to have the answer for this. It's his job. But he got to step up his coaching game. What I mean by that, I have the full confidence that Anthony Weaver's going to figure something out, even though I believe our safety and corner room is, we shallow. Safeties and corner, we're shallow. But I have confidence in Anthony Weaver figuring out a scheme to where we bend but don't break. I have that confidence. But Mike McDaniel, your offensive system has officially been exposed, and everybody knows what to expect. Before, the good teams had the perfect schemes for it, where it just didn't help us. We never could get through. Now some of the bad teams are starting to figure it out. You got to coach your behind off on that offensive side of the football. And I'm going to tell you what's not going to work. What's not going to work is doing the same thing, thinking just improving the run game and having better pass protection is going to get it done. Because everybody's going to wake up with a rude awakening if you think that's it. Improving the run game and having better pass protection, y'all are going to wake up with a rude awakening if you think that's it. I'm an individual that I actually don't like the fact that Jonnu Smith went off last year and Devin A-Chain went off last year in the pass game. I don't like it. Why don't you like those guys going off? That's a good thing. Not for the overall success of the team. Just because you substitute Tyreek's yards with A-Chain and Jonnu, there was no improvement. That was just a supplement, a substitute. You can't be substituted. We need Tyreek to be going off 1,500 yards. We need Waddle to add another 13. Then we need Jonnu to get some nice work in and A-Chain to catch it out of the backfield. Not a trade-off where we reduce overall anyway. And I'm not talking, well, Tua, he was out, so they wouldn't. Man, it was 20 yards a game more with Tua. You don't believe me? Go look it up. Tyreek missed out on 20 more yards a game with Tua. What's that in 6 games? 120 yards? That ain't even close to the 1,500 he used to. So please understand, that actually hurt our offense. You know why? Because what they said last year is, we're no longer going to make Tyreek and Waddle the first read. Look at how many times they hit Jonnu in the seam. Hike up right away in the seam because he wide open. Why? Because the linebacker and the corner, they always scheme for Tyreek. And Jonnu was open all year in that seam, hitting him right away. Up, slip behind the linebacker, bam. Up, slip by. No. Up, they following Tyreek, running back out of the backfield. All you did is had a trade-off, and the overall was reduced. That's not going to work. You got to figure out something from an offensive scheme standpoint to get us back to electrifying offense. And another thing people need to realize, we lost this game because the defense gave up. The defense sold on us. Man, the defense can go 3.5 quarters, shutting the other team down, and then in the last 8 minutes, they give up 2 touchdowns, and we blame the defense. Yeah, you shouldn't do that either, but at the same token, every defense in the league can only hold but so long. While your defense is playing impeccable football and holding, you should be extending the lead with your offense so that when the other team makes a run, you can survive it. This offense has gotten, truth be told, horrible. From the greatest thing on the field to horrible. Gotta be better. Gotta be better. So again, the 3 things that's going to need to happen. Chubb and Phillips got to come back like nothing never happened. Because you're going to need elite play on that edge with Chop in that rotation. Then Tua got to stay on that field. And last but not least, I don't know how you're going to do it. It ain't my job to figure it out. It's yours. Mike McDaniel has to surprise us with his coaching. Everybody knows how our offense operates. I saw the new wrinkles. I'm telling y'all, I was in training camp and I was looking at it and I knew, this ain't going to do it. Because I saw the adjustments Mike McDaniel made from the previous year. You know how we always ran that motion in the wheel route? And it worked all the time? Y'all wonder why we barely ever run it again? Yeah, do you notice like the year we went off, we ran that 50% of the time somebody was going in motion running a wheel route. Stretching the defense, scared on their heels. But what you notice is in year 2 of this system, teams start realizing don't react to it. Just stay on your assignment instead of bailing. And now that first thing isn't there. And then Mike McDaniel tried to make a change. He'll run the wheel route, Tyreek full speed for 10 yards and just stop and turn around. And the secondary still backpedaling. And we would catch the little 10-yard passes. And then teams realize, you know what? We got to stop being worried about this motion wheel route. Let it go. Safety, just do your job in your spot. Don't bail. If he beats you deep, he beats you deep. But now you're that quarterback, better make sure he don't underthrow it. And when we start showing a lack of success with it, McDaniel got out of that quick. Y'all don't realize the 4 to 5 game stint where we were just so stagnant as an offense because teams stopped reacting to the motion. And they said, man, all this time, all we had to do is just do our regular defense instead of seeing it and backing up. Let them throw deep. Now have you noticed that's why we don't throw deep anymore? Because in the past, when we threw deep, Tyreek would stop and come back to the deep ball, and the defenders are still running deep before they realize, oh, he stopped. We had our eyes closed running as fast as we could to keep up. And he been stopped. Oh, we got to stop doing this. Let's let them beat us over the top. Let's see if the quarterback can do it first off. And all it took was a few deep shots that were intercepted, and Mike McDaniel shut the whole thing down. Y'all ain't noticed that. Go watch the film. Go watch the gradual decline of us running those plays. But also go watch why we start declining, because every team was all over it, picking like right in the spot where the ball ended. They were all over it. Had to shut it down. Now let's get back to the dink and dunks. And the funniest part about it all, our offense now is just like it was under Brian Flores. Quick hitters, dink and dunk, run the ball, not really stretching the field, on occasions trying to take a shot, but we don't even pull the trigger as often. We've turned right back into what we used to be with Flores on offense. A lot of y'all don't realize that. And the only passing play that we run a lot, other than the quick hitters in the seam, is the deep post in the crosser underneath it. Too predictable because the gimmick is up. So Mike McDaniel need to coach his way out of this. We need a whole new offense. That's what everybody like. Well, we need only this person can run McDaniel's system. First of all, I'm at a point now it's no longer a system. The system is showed to not work anymore. And if you think, oh, well, we just need a better O-line for it, or we just need this for it, you're fooling yourself. McDaniel got to come with something new and innovative for this group. And yeah, you could sprinkle this in, but it has to be something new and innovative. But I think what they're going to try to do is lean on running the ball more this year. I think they're going to try to cut Tua down from try to make him one of those 17 to 22 passing attempts per game guy instead of 27 to 33. They're going to try to cut his production down quite a bit. I think that's what's going to happen. And we'll see. We'll see how that works. But thank y'all so much for tuning in over here on Bleacher Report. Those who are on TD Fans Talk, I'll be with you guys in a moment. But listen, make sure you come back on Wednesday. We'll be grading these draft picks, and I'll have more of a bio for each player for you. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Make sure that you follow Bleacher Report. Peace. Y'all hit that like button while you are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. 930 people watching right now on the show. For YouTube, we got 572 people watching on Twitter. We got 357 people watching. Thank every single one of you all for tuning in. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I'm going to take a Q&A segment right now. So if you're in the chat and you have any questions that you have for me about this, hit me up in the chat right now, okay? Hit me up in the chat. Hit in that right. Right, let me move y'all over to the main screen. All right, put your questions in the chat right now if you have any for me, okay? TD, is Bleacher Report aired on Max? I'm not sure. I know they've been working on TV stuff, so it could be. Could be. Keep up the great work, bro. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any questions, make sure you ask them now because I'm not going to be here too much longer, all right? We did have some super chats. Shout out to the homie G Firm said, "What's up?" Hey, we got a franchise quarterback, baby. Quinn Ewers in the future. All right, Smarty Jam said it's dangerous to depend on rookies to fill major holes in your roster. I do agree. You think the Finn secondary will be okay? Not at all. But you know what? This is where Anthony Weaver has to prove that he can be a head coach in this league. Let's see here. Yeah, this is where he has to prove it. Do you think that we added the necessary holes? Not at all. But we did add 2 players that can fill major holes. And that's what's important. I already told y'all we weren't going to fill all the holes. You still need 2 corners, starters. You still need 2 safeties, in my opinion. But just to give them the benefit of the doubt, let's just say 1. Patrick Paul at left tackle, I don't know what to expect. So no, we haven't filled all the holes. But let's just start there. 2 corners and a safety. And I'm going to leave the line alone. Let's let it see how it work out. But we still got 3 major holes, and I'm talking about starters. So some of these guys are going to start. Some of these guys are going to start. And I'm going to tell you this now. If I'm an undrafted rookie, you better be begging the Dolphins to take you if you're a corner or a safety. You got a prime opportunity to come in here and earn something. This is where you should be if you're a cornerback or a safety in Miami. If you believe in yourself, you need to be in Miami. I don't know what UDFAs we got. I'll be going over that tomorrow or Tuesday because, again, I want all of them to come in. I don't want to just, we got this one. We got that one. No, we'll just get them together. Let's see through the cream of the crop. Hey, what looks promising? Let's go through it that way. But y'all know how I am. If I ain't going all crazy about 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders, then I don't do that with undrafted players. When we get in camp, if I call a name positively enough, that's whenever I even care to even get to know who they are. I work smart, not hard. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. I'm not one of these guys out here trying to tell you about every single one of these guys. Man, show me you worthy of making the team. Now I'm going to talk all about you. Sit here and be talking about 20 guys and only one of them make the roster. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, I know some of y'all fanatics like that. Good for y'all. I can't provide that kind of content. I'm sorry. I'm listen. I work smart, not hard. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna comb through it. I might pick like 3 to 5 of them to say, hey, I like these guys. Look out for them. Everybody else, man, make your way. When I get to camp, let me say, hey, who is that? At number blah, blah, blah. Let me look at this. Okay. That was interesting. That was a big boy play right there. Let me get to know you that way. That's how I am. That way I don't have any built-in biases. What's up, TD? Come pay respect. Solid draft. I think Grant was a slight reach, but still has lots of work to do. I just don't get that Kenneth Grant being a reach thing. Like, and here's another, like, I don't agree with this reach for Kenneth Grant at all that everybody keeps talking about. And you know what I love the most? I love that we actually have proof he wasn't a reach. I 1,000% think that Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel was telling the truth when they say they got calls and text messages right after the pick from at least 3 of the teams coming up that said that was our guy. How was it a reach? How was it a reach? 3 of the next couple picks said that was our guy. I don't see that pick as a reach at all. Now, I know what you mean because even on this paper, when I did my mock draft, when I did my Bleacher Report mock draft, I literally put my top 100 players that I had, right? And then I put my top 40 players in order for the Bleacher Report mock draft. For those who don't know, we did a whole mock draft. Every creator for every team made a pick. We were trading and everything. I didn't trade. They kept calling me to trade. Houston kept calling to trade. The Lions wanted to trade, but we couldn't get the deal right. I didn't sucker in. The deal wasn't right. I was fighting between late first and versus an additional second and a fourth. No, I need that late first. Otherwise, I can't. I got to position myself for a quarterback next year if necessary. But anyway, when I wrote down those top 40, I said, who's our pick at 13? Let me write down the positional need players that are in my top, that were in my top 15, right? I came up with defensive tackle Mason Graham, tackle Will Campbell, Jade Barron at corner, Walter Nolan at defensive tackle, Armand Mimbu at tackle, Will Johnson at cornerback, Malachi Starks at safety, Kenneth Grant at defensive tackle, and Josh Simmons at tackle. I liked a lot more players, but these were the players of position need for us that were in my top 15. But I also put my numbers next to the ones at the bottom that would be available of where they were on my big board. Kenneth Grant, as you can see right here, he was 17th on mine. He was 17th. And in that mock draft, when we had everybody available, the only ones that were left at 13 was Jade Barron, Will Johnson, Malachi Starks, and Kenneth Grant. I selected Will Johnson in the mock draft. I selected Will Johnson. But I told everybody my order was Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, Jade Barron, and Malachi Starks if I had to order it. I selected Will Johnson. But I also told people I wouldn't be mad anyway if I had any one of those four players. It would be a win for us. And we went Kenneth Grant. And I'm going to tell y'all a secret. It ain't a secret. I called him out on it on Twitter. Y'all remember the Dolphins Collective? If you watched the Dolphins Collective last week and the week before, let me know in the chat right now. Let me know if you watched the episodes on Dolphins Collective. Yes or no in the chat. If you watched it, Omar Kelly asked all of us a question. What position are they going in the first round? What did I tell him? I said they're going defensive tackle. With Ramsey leaving? No, they going corner. I said they going defensive tackle. He actually convinced me to believe, it's going to be a corner. Because, if Ramsey gone, it's going to be a corner. He convinced me. Do you remember when I said it on the show, defensive tackle? And he was like, no, it's a corner. He convinced me. And that's why in the Bleacher Report mock draft, I went Will Johnson. But I knew it would be a DT. I would have loved to have Walter Nolan, but I knew he wasn't going to be there. So that's why Kenneth Grant was always my 13. I have been wrong on every mock my whole life just about in the first round for the Miami Dolphins. This was the first time I kind of knew who it was going to be, but I let Omar Kelly convince me that it was going to be a corner, and that's why I was selecting Will Johnson. Got to stick to your guns. I know, but it could have went anyway. It could have went anyway. So, I love the pick. I love the Kenneth Grant pick. If you got any more questions, put them in the chat now. All right. All right, I already read that. Mel had a bad year. Mel Kiper crazy, man. He's trying to argue with everybody about Shador. He just need to give it up. At the end of the day, the league didn't want that distraction. And let me say this. I'm actually shocked. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. There is one thing I'm mad at the Dolphins about. Y'all already know what it is, but when I just heard what I just heard, now I'm even more mad. This was a great draft for the Dolphins. But for them to come out and Chris Greer to admit they had an extensive conversation about Shedeur at 116. He came out and admitted. Y'all go check it out. Go listen to him. They had they were really considering taking Shedeur at 116. Lord, please tell me. Oh my gosh, I need to hear that conversation. I'd pay big money to hear it because I want to know who pushed off of it. I want to know who pushed off. But for him to admit, I'm shocked he did that. I thought he'd come out and be like, oh, yeah, he's a great player. We consider him like everybody else. We decided to go another direction. But to come out and say, man, we actually had significant conversation about that, about Shedeur at 116. But what's killing me about it, somebody shut it down completely, and let me tell you why. Because if you had conversations at 116 about it, wasn't he on the board in the 5th round too? Wasn't he on the board? Yeah, 116 is the 4th round. Remember, we traded out of that pick for a pick next year. But if you significantly considered it and traded the pick, and then he was still available at the next pick, and you didn't, somebody shut it down when they had those real considerations. I need to know who, and I probably won't find out. But wow. Y'all don't understand. I don't care if you're an individual that, oh, Shedeur ain't no good. That's fine. But are we really going to sit here and say he ain't good enough for a 4th or a 5th round pick just as a project? Are we going to really say that he ain't good enough as a project in a 4th or 5th round? And if something miraculous happens, you don't have to spend a 1st or multiple 1sts next year to try to get your future quarterback? Whoever shut it down probably said, man, we scouted Ewers, and I think he'll be there in the 7th. Let's do it there. Let's get a quarterback there. That person probably said, well, if Shedeur is there in the 6th or the 7th, then we'll go. Man, you knew he wouldn't. It's crazy, man. To hear Chris Grier say that shocked the heck out of me. Best player available can never come out of their mouths. It can't come out of a lot of people's mouth. Like if I ever hear that, well, there we felt he was the best player available over Shedeur. They're gonna move it. Well, best player available at position need. That's what they're gonna try to say. No, man. That's crazy. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, man. I don't know if he's gonna be special in his league. Maybe he not. But if he end up becoming special in his league, immediately once you know, there should at least be 5 to 10 GMs fired. Because it's going to be 5 to 10 that had an opportunity at the time that's still in quarterback purgatory. Jacksonville, Miami, Raiders, Saints, Seahawks. The Bucs should have even considered it. The Panthers should have considered it. The Giants. Crazy to me. That's 8 teams right there. And there's more. The coach should have considered it. There go 9 right there. The Jets should have considered it. Steelers, that's 11. It's Crazy work, man. The Rams should have considered it. They tired of giving the big money and keep reeing up. Probably 15 teams should have considered it. And in the 5th round, the Chiefs should have considered it in the 5th round. Not to start over Mahomes, but in the 5th round, everybody should have considered it. Or been trying to pull a trigger. Worst case scenario, you got a good draft. You got a good trade asset if a quarterback go down and the team need to bring somebody in. I ain't gonna lie, some of the best teams in the league missed out on the opportunity to bring in a first-round talent, and if your quarterback got hurt, you throw him in there, and if he proves to shine, you got a valuable trade asset now. You still gonna keep your starter guy when he get healthy, but now you got a guy who's really valuable that you could trade. 5th round is backup territory, and that's the point. Yeah, like, and here's what's killing me. People are like, well, teams weren't going to draft him because that's the backup territory. Do y'all hear yourself? A starter potential is available in the backup territory. Do y'all hear yourself? For what? $1 million a year? For 4 years? Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing to me. I want to know who initiated the serious Shadur conversation in Miami. Forget who vetoed it. I want to know who initiated the possibility of it, because you need to promote that man. You need to promote that man. Crazy to me. But hey, it is what it is. Whoo! Man, oh man. Draft is officially over, y'all. Let me see here. Give me a second. Let me make sure. I want to show y'all something that I had. Y'all are going to like it if I can pull it up. Please be in the folder. Oh, man. Come on, man. Let me check the other one. Y'all hit that like button for me as well, all right? Please punch that like button for me. Thank y'all for your love and support as always. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. It's being sent to me now. In the meantime, again, this stream was being powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150. Again, make sure you gamble responsibly if you're on BetUS. And supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Oh, are they going to let me? Oh my gosh, they blocking me out of the folder. I wanted to show y'all something like a video of Quinn Ewers, but it's not letting me. All right, last try right here. Please. Don't do me dirty. I'll have to convert the file. Yeah, I'll have to convert the file. All right, I'll just do it on the next stream. I'll show y'all on the next stream. All right, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. As always, fins up no matter what. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Again, punch that like button on your way out of the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. Also, we're reaching some new thresholds as well, which is pretty dope on the channel. Let me see here. Yes, we're at 32,270 subs. So 30 more subs, we're at 32,300. All right, 30 more subs, we'll be at 32,300. All right, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe right now. We're on our way to 33,000 subs. Hopefully we can get close to that by training camp. And then when the season starts, we'll be around 33. All right. We're going to go for a goal to probably hit 40 by this time next year. To reach 40K by this time next year. All right. We're going heavy this year. We're going hard. Over the next couple of days, I'll be introducing you to our draft picks. So you'll see 8 individual videos come out. Basically, giving you all the details about each of them, and then me giving my projection long-term for their future. What I believe their ceiling is and what the outcome of their career will be. And then we get to sit back and watch to see if let time tell. So be on the lookout for those individual draft videos. I'll be dropping those. I'll probably do 2 a day, Monday through Thursday, for the 8 draft picks. And then by next weekend, we can start going through some of the undrafted players so I can do better research on some of them to get to know who they are. So we got like 10 of them already. I see somebody put in the chat. They'll get up to probably 15 or 20. Yeah, next weekend, I'll probably highlight a 5 that I like out of all of them and give you my thoughts on it. I already gave my thoughts on Ewers. I talked about it a lot in this video, but go check it out. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I see you in here, Tony. Y'all go show up for the homie right here. Y'all go to the channel. The Blitz pickup. Those boys be killing it over there. Y'all make sure y'all go sub to them, all right? All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. Me and the wife going to enjoy our night, watch a movie or something. You know, it's been a long week. I've been traveling, but back home, let's get to it. Y'all go out there and y'all go win. Go win in life. Go win in everything you do. All right? If you got dreams, aspirations, don't let the excuses or even the reasons why you aren't pursuing them or going after them affect you. Push through. Punch through the wall. All right? And get to that next level. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was, everybody would do it. But you can stand out like unlike others and be one of those individuals that pushes through that wall. So go get after it. Go get at your dreams. Go get at your aspirations. And you got me in your prayers that everyone watching right now and not watching can succeed and become successful in whatever it is they want to attack. All right, y'all. I just wanted to drop that on y'all. I appreciate you. Fins up no matter what. Peace. I'm out. Before we go, those who showed me love over last week in the Cash App, thank y'all. Y'all really helped me offset some of those expenses from the draft that went up more than I thought it was going to be. So I appreciate y'all, man. All love for everybody that showed me love and support, even in a monetary way. It ain't easy out here, and y'all give y'all hard-earned money to support this channel. Always humbled by it. Thank you.